皆さん、ハロー、ニックです。
アレックスです。
Welcome to Nick and Alex。今日は、日本の歴史的な人物の中で、面白いなと思っている人について話します。
はい。
Somebody we like from Japanese history. I already have somebody that you probably know already. But,
Okay.
Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
どうぞ。
じゃあ僕は平賀源内っていう人なんですけど、江戸時代の人なんだけど、日本人はもちろんみんな知ってると思うんですけど、You guys know?
知ってるかな?
Yeah, I think they know 平賀源内, but I think Japanese people know 平賀源内 for a different reason than what I know him.
Okay.
そう、多分日本では平賀源内は、いろんなものを発明した人として知られてる。Did you know that? Like he made a bunch of inventions.
He was a genius, right?
He was a genius. Like he made, I think, like an electric generator and stuff like that. Yeah. They called him like the Edison of Japan or like the Einstein or something like that. I forgot what the word was, but yeah, 結構面白いんだけど the reason I know him is because he was a very interesting writer.
Okay, yes.
作家さんだったんですよ、平賀源内はね。He wrote really comical and thought-provoking. 深くて面白い本をいっぱい書いてたんですけど、その中で包皮理論かな A theory of farting. 包皮理論、そのおならについての本、短いストーリーなんだけど、結構その江戸のエンタメ、エンターテインメントをバカにしてるショートストーリー、小説でもないんだけど、it's really interesting because it's almost like stand-up comedy, like because Japanese comedy nowadays is a lot more not about criticizing society or people, but it's more like silly.
Right. I mean, it was silly with Gennai too. But
Gennai is also silly. Yeah. 皆さんぜひ包皮理論っていうやつを読んでください。めっちゃ面白いんだけど、he basically talks about a farter. So a guy who, like, in the Edo streets, farts, and people, like, he can make different sounds with his farts. And Hiraga Gendai basically argues with a samurai over if this guy is creative or not creative.Right. Do you remember this story? Yeah. 結構面白いの。その日本の伝統芸を軽くバカにするやつ。
Do you feel like it's relatable these days?
I think it's relatable these days. 今読んでもなるほどねってなるから皆さん包皮理論ってやつをぜひ読んでほしいですね。Yeah.
Well, actually, I feel like, it's not even just relatable to the modern Japan, but a lot of, like, modern culture.
Yeah. I mean, so, like, in the story, there's a samurai who sees the guy who farts and says, これは芸じゃない。これは、アートじゃない。で、平賀源内のキャラが、いや、これは芸ですよ。実は日本の伝統アートは全部人の真似。It's all, like, copying somebody else. So it's not original.Is his argument.
Right.
And this guy who's farting is doing something completely new. で、もちろんその深いことも書いてるんですけど、ギャグとか面白いダジャレとかもいっぱい入ってるから結構面白いと思います。Yeah.
Okay.
Is that enough? Do you think that's enough?
Well, if there is anything else you want to say.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to read the whole story to them if I was going to say anymore.
Right. 皆さん読んでください。このストーリー。
What about you?Right.
Well, one of my favorite, or at least people that I find very fascinating in Japanese history is Yukio Mishima. I completely disagree with everything that he thought and like his ideology or anything like that. But I find him as a character, as someone who literally embodied his whole ideas and like showed them through his own life. Very inspiring. So,I'm sure minasan know about,
Yeah, I think every Japanese person knows Mishima.
Probably even every person outside of Japan.
I mean, literature people know Mishima Yukio, right? Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't have to explain that. But just how he literally created himself, like a character out of himself. And I think for a writer, that's something very, like, it's very inspiring thing to do, because a lot of people would write one thing and then behave in a completely different way.
Can I ask you a question? I was talking to a literature professor in Japan about Japanese literature, and it seems that there's a real importance on it being based off yourself and experiences in Japan.
詩小説。
Yeah, 詩小説。俺はその言葉知らないけど、知ってるふりをしてます。
英語で I novel.
I novel. Yeah. Can you explain that? Or maybe we could do that in a different video. What do you think?
I guess it's not. I mean, I could do that, but maybe it's a bit too boring for.
Yeah. Well, what is it? What?
But so basically, there is a tradition of 私小説とか詩小説とか. It's pretty much heavily based on your own biography.
Yes.
And then you write from the first person, and then you write about things that happen, and normally it's something really like dark and kind of Dazai style or Tayama Katai とか. But with Mishima, it's a little bit different because there is a completely different scale of things. And although he obviously based a lot of things that he believed in, or rather he based his novel on the things that he believed in, I think it's not just about him like being decadent and drinking and doing stuff like that, but about his like active participation in certain things. And I would even say there was a different dynamics. Like normally the shishosetsu writers would take their life and kind of transfer it into literature, while he would take literature and transfer it into his own life.
Mishima? これ多分深すぎて俺理解できない。オタクだからさ、この人は。
But yeah, so to put it simpler, just...
Is that a word, simpler?
Yeah, I just stumbled, but I was like...
to put it more simply?
Now it is.
Yes, now it is, simpler. Put it more simply. 新しい言葉を作りました。はい。
Yeah, he was just very inspiring in terms of how much he believed in things, and I feel like he lived his own art. And
very authentic. Yeah. It's funny because 俺この前三島由紀夫の写真をツイッターにアップしたら、なんかコメントでこの人ホモでしょみたいなことをちょっとバカにしてたんだけどさ、like I'd be afraid to say that to his face. Yeah. 今のツイッターの人は何でも書くんだけどさ、三島は半端ない強いやつだったからさ、絶対顔の前で言えないんだよな、そういうの。Yeah.We should talk about him in another video. We should talk about one of his stories. Like 有国心 or something like that. Yeah. Okay. じゃあ今日は平賀源内と三島由紀夫。Let's give them homework. 包皮理論と有国心を読んでください。もしよかったら。Yeah. Okay. Peace.
Bye.